long ago and far away. It was in a poor little kingdom, but everyone was very happy because a great event had taken place. The king sent his herald to call the three wise fairies. A princess had been born. It was the cup fairies to bestow their precious gifts upon a new princess. The first one wished that the king's daughter would grow up the most beautiful princess in the world. The second one wished that she would be clever, kind, and truthful. But before the third good fairy could make her wish for the princess, there appeared a very old fairy whom the king had forgotten to call. And so out of revenge, she wished a terrible thing. That when the princess grew to be 15 years, she would prick her finger on a spindle and die. But the third good fairy hadn't made wish yet, and though she couldn't take back the wish of the wicked fairy, she wished that the little princess should not die, but sleep for 100 years, when a handsome prince would come to wake her up. Well, the princess reached her 15th birthday, and everyone had forgotten about the evil prophecy. And on that morning, the king gave her a beautiful little golden crown. And the princess was so pleased with her birthday present that after kissing her mother the queen and her father the king, then she went to show her crown to Molly, the royal cook who was busy preparing the birthday feast in the royal kitchen, with the help of Tom, the scullion, who really wasn't any help at all. And it happened that as the princess was wandering through the castle, she saw an old door that she'd never seen before. And even though she was a princess, she was still a curious little girl. And so she opened the door and found herself at the foot of a dark old stone staircase, which she started to climb. Up the tower stairs, and at the top she found a door, and a little room where an old woman sat, turning a wooden wheel. And the princess was astounded because she'd never seen a spinning wheel. For we didn't tell you that the king had ordered all the spindles in the whole kingdom burned up. So she thought she'd like to see how it worked. The old woman smiled because she was the wicked fairy who had wished that the princess would prick her finger on her 15th birthday. And now that the evil wish had come true and the wicked fairy had disappeared, the little princess was ready to die. But luckily, the wish of the third good fairy also came true. And the little princess did not die. One by one, the good fairy put everybody in the castle to sleep. And up in the little tower room, the princess fell deeper and deeper into the slumber that was to last 100 years. People got old, and their children grew up and got married, and they got old. And one bright sunshiny day, there came a handsome prince on a white horse. When the prince came to a farmer who was working in the field, he asked, "What's behind that hedge?" But all the farmer could tell him was an old legend about a sleeping beauty in the castle, and that nobody had ever been able to get through the hedge. But the prince decided to try anyway, and discover what lay on the other side. And in the royal kitchen, Tom, the scullion, had slept for a full century without getting a single flap. And finally the prince found the very door through which the princess had passed 100 years before. And like her, the prince started to climb the tower stairs.